Hello everyone and welcome back to Wuggers Shaping History Recap. Where we left off, Hamilton had just died. Not of a gunshot, but of old age. And now McLean is president. And guess what? He's running for a second term. This time against Mr. Jackson, Andrew Jackson. A man who really hates Mexico. In fact, he hated Mexico so much he had to base his whole campaign around how much he wanted to go to war with Mexico. And guess what? It worked. People love hating Mexico. So, he gets elected and he goes to war with Mexico. But it turns out not everyone hates Mexico that much. And some people saw the war as baseless violence and thought that good people were dying for no reason. So some of them get together and they make their own fancy anti-war coalition. And they find an old friend of Hamilton, Mr. Clay, Henry Clay, and they choose Mr. Clay as their presidential candidate. So, now,
Again,
the main questions of the election are, should we
stay
at
at
war with
war.
Mexico or not? And survey says, yes, we should keep going. Fuck Mexico. Anyway, since the anti-war coalition somewhat found success in their presidential bidding, they decided to make a full-blown political party. And during the naming process, a bunch of weird-looking birds flew into the room. So they decided to name it the Canary Party. It was actually named because of the canary's use in the coal mines, and how it was basically sent down there to die, like many of the Americans and Mexicans who fought in the war, seemingly for no reason. Guess what, bitch? America won the war. That's right, Andrew Jackson won the war. Also, he has his own party now. It's called the Democratic Party, because he loves democracy that much. And guess what? America's very big because she won the war. She's very big. You're a big girl. Cause you've annexed too much and you can't get slaves in every state. Big girl. Okay, enough of that. The party system's fucked up now. It's all fucked up and weird looking and shit and goopy and ugly and disgusting looking. It's less about expanding, it's more about comprehending what we should do as a country. So yeah, it's really boring. It's like economics time and stuff. The Democrats, they don't want any government intervention. They don't like that. But the Canaries, they kind of like that. They kind of want some taxes and stuff. But they also don't want new states out west. The biggest issue right now is slavery. But both parties are going to pretend that it's not really an issue. There are 12 free states and 11 slave states, and both sides want more states of their own so they can have more stake in the government. Breaking news, those numbers just changed. Because we got a new president. His name is Levi Woodbury. Shit, I leave my wood buried in her. Yup. Anyway, he adds Texas and Coachella. Fuck you say this, bro? He adds Texas and Coahuila as slave states, bringing it to 12 free states and 13 slave states. However, Coachella, they switch sides. This feels offensive. This feels like I shouldn't say this. And Coachella they switch sides and they banned slavery, making it 13 to 12. Well, after the war with Mexico, we put our own guy in the chair of the Mexican president. Because we're America. But Mexico gets super pissed about this and they try to overthrow the guy. So Woodbury, he gets super pissed about this and he runs to Congress. But Congress says no, we're not doing another war. So Woodbury, he goes, he buries his wood in the ground and he says, you know what? I'll do my own intervention. He probably sends an equivalent of the CIA in the 1800s to Mexico to deal with it. Okay, new president time. Webster comes along and he's like, yo, we got these 2 new states, right? We got, and we got Sonora, and what if we just let them choose? But the South knows what's going on. Of course they won't choose to do slavery. And just as people thought, they chose not to do slavery, and now the slavery enjoyers are on full-on panic mode because now there's 15 free states and only 12 slave states. So this random-ass dude comes around. He's Franklin Pierce. He's a slavery enjoyer. He tries running for president under the pretense that he'll make the past 3 free states all slave states, make slavery a permanent part of the Constitution, and unsurprisingly, he loses. Okay, the year is 1856. This is probably the biggest election in a very long time. Slavery has finally bubbled up to the point where it can't be ignored, and the nation has to do something. Fremont is the Canary candidate. He's super hardcore anti-slavery like no one has ever seen before. He says not only will there never be another slave state, but he will pass a law saying that any new people born into slavery will be freed on their 18th birthday. And slavery enjoyers are freaking out. and a bunch of southern states get together and they say if Fremont is elected president, they'll just leave the Union. And surprise, surprise, Fremont actually won. And the good news is, we can finally get rid of slavery. But, oh. Well, there's bad news too. Half of the country just left.